In this cause, I too am prepared to die, but, my friends, there is no cause for which I am prepared to kill.
These were the words by our one and only Mahatma Gandhi. Bapu was, however, not a great scholar, nor was he a great warrior. He was not born with exceptional facilities. Neither was he a good orator nor a great writer. He did not claim anything exclusively divine in him. He did not claim being a prophet or having superhuman powers. So, how did a person training to become a barrister become a Mahatma? How? Thus, for that, we all need to travel to the past. So let's begin our journey of truth, peace, and non-violence. Bapu was born on 2nd October 1869 in Porbandar, Gujarat. When he was 19, his father insisted that he should be a barrister and sent him to London to study law. In 1893, he arrived in native South Africa for legal services, where he faced discrimination being an Indian immigrant. He also started a petition to the government regarding their law against the Indian immigrants. In 1906, he organized his first ever satyagraha in Johannesburg. Little did he know, it was just the beginning of his long fight against the British. Due to his actions that he took in South Africa, Gopal Krishna Gokhale asked him to come to India. So Gandhiji arrived in India in 1915 and organized his first three successful satyagrahas in Kheda, Champaran and Ahmedabad. My partner has more on that.
Gandhiji organized a satyagraha in 1917 in Kheda district of Gujarat, and over there the peasants were badly hit by crop failure and they were demanding a relaxation in the revenue collection. And in 1918, Gandhiji collaborated with the cotton mill workers in Ahmedabad to organize a satyagraha.
It was the Rowlatt Act which brought Gandhiji to the mainstream of Indian struggle for independence. He, for the first time, organized a nationwide satyagraha against it on 6th April. And then the infamous Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened on 13th April. The massacre changed him forever.
The non-cooperation movement was launched in 1920 by Mahatma Gandhi with the aim of self-governance and obtaining full independence. Gandhi's planning of the non-cooperation movement included persuading all Indians to withdraw their labor from any activity. But unfortunately, this movement was called off because of the Chauri Chaura incident in 1922. This massacre took place at Chauri Chaura, a small town of Uttar Pradesh, where a crowd of peasants set fire to a police station with some 22 policemen inside it. Mahatma Gandhi felt that the revolt was wearing off course and was disappointed that the revolt had lost its non-violent nature, which led to the withdrawal of this movement.
I must ask you to believe me when I say that I have never made a statement of this description, that the masses of India, if it became necessary, would resort to violence.
On March 12, 1930, Gandhiji began his defiant march to break the monopoly of British on salt. And this act was his boldest act of civil disobedience.
The Poon Swaraj, or the Declaration of the Independence of India, was promulgated by the Indian National Congress on 26 January 1930.
Gandhiji, along with the 78 members of the Sabarmati Ashram, began their salt march from Ahmedabad headquarters, that is the Sabarmati Ashram, through the villages of Dandi for 240 miles. The enthusiasm of the people could be seen, as there were thousands of people who joined, who were from different caste, region and religion. The people anticipated the great change that was laying ahead. This was a novel method and yet turned out to be really effective. Gandhiji successfully broke the salt law by collecting salt from the beaches of Dandi.
When the civil disobedience movement turned violent, Mahatma Gandhi decided to call off the movement and entered into a pact with Irvin on 5th of March 1931 to handle the matter politically with non-violence. Also, Gandhiji consented to participate in the Round Table Conference in London, and government agreed to release the political prisoners that were captured during the civil disobedience movement. But unfortunately, negotiations broke down and Gandhiji returned disappointed from the conference in London.
The Second World War broke out in September 1939, and without consulting the Indian officers, India was declared at a warring stage by the Governor General. India was amongst the largest allied forces in the Second World War. So, in 1942 August, Gandhiji declared the Quit India movement, which was a mass civil disobedience movement, which was a do or die cause. In reality, Gandhiji opposed partition till the very end. However, he was continuously sidelined by the leaders of Congress. On the day the partition plan was announced, he said that he could only see evil in this plan, and for he was not wrong.
Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated on 30th January 1948 on the way to his evening prayer. He may not be with us today, but his principles, ideas, his ethics are still prevalent in our daily lives.
Gandhian legacy of Satyagraha can be described as struggles, rebellions, and wars without violence. The objective of Satyagraha was, however, not to achieve the physical elimination or moral breakdown of an adversary, but through suffering at his hands to initiate a psychological process that could make it possible for minds and hearts to meet. I myself really feel motivated and enlightened with Gandhian ideologies of Satyagraha.
Gandhiji was a humble speaker of truth. Once any principle appealed to him, he immediately began translating that into practice. He did not flinch from taking risks and did not mind confessing mistakes. Truth was his sole guidance.
I hear your need and I feel your feelings. I get my energy from the highest source, and I salute this source in you. Let us come together in peace and unity. These were some beautiful words by Mahatma Gandhi, because his legacy will never break.
Thus, Mahatma Gandhi was a Mahatma, is a Mahatma, and will forever remain a Mahatma for the future generations to come.